Garam.
Okay, good morning students. Welcome to online class. We are discussing the lesson named National Liberation Movements in the Colonies. In this lesson we have discussed about the China country in our earlier classes. Now I am going to introduce another country that led a struggle against the colonial powers. The name of the country is Vietnam. Listen, Vietnam. It is one of the country located in the Asia continent. Actually, it is situated in the Southeast Asian part. By the mid-19th century, this country, Vietnam, came under the direct rule of French. It means Vietnam is the colony of the French. For example, India is the colony of the British. How British ruled the India, like the French country ruled the Vietnam by making its colony. It means Vietnam is the colony of the European power France, like India is the colony of the European power British. How Britishers exploit the natural resources of our country, French exploited the natural resources of the country Vietnam. Let us listen how they exploited. The French were, here French means they are nothing but the people of France. The French was very interested to develop. Vietnam is the exporter of the crop rice. French were very much interested to develop. Vietnam is the exporter of rice. To achieve this, the French adopted the threefold strategy. Why they adopted the threefold strategy means to achieve Vietnam is the exporter of rice. Let us see what are the threefold strategy. The first one is improving irrigation networks. Irrigation networks means providing of water facilities to cultivate the crops, especially digging of canals or digging of tanks or any other things. The second strategy is encouraging landlords to cultivate the rice crop. Second one is encouraging the landlords to cultivate the rice crop. And the third one is providing marketing facilities. Marketing facilities for agricultural produce. They are example rice and rubber, because these two are the most important crops that grown in the Vietnam. Listen, the French was very much interested to develop. Vietnam is the exporter of rice. To achieve this, Vietnam adopted the threefold strategy. First one is improving irrigation network, nothing but digging of canals like that. And second one is encouraging the landlords to cultivate the rice crop. The third one is arranging marketing facilities for the agricultural produce. The agricultural produce are example rice and rubber. As a part of these strategies, they began, as a part of the improving of irrigation network, the French began to build the canals. They built the canals in the Mekong Delta. How we have the Godavari Delta, Krishna Delta, Kaveri Delta in our Andhra Pradesh state, in our states. Like that, Mekong Delta is there in the Vietnam. So French dug canals. They began to build the canals in the Mekong Delta to increase the cultivation. As a result of digging of canals, what they have expected, the rice production has increased. When the rice production has increased, French allow the export of rice to the international market. By 1931, the Vietnam exported 2/3 of its rice production. Listen, because of the digging of canals in the Mekong Delta, the rice production has increased and French allow the export of rice to the international market. By 1931, French exported 2/3 of its rice production to the international market, and by 1931, this Vietnam became the third largest exporter of rice in the world after China and India. So the place of Vietnam in the export of rice is third place. Vietnam became the third largest exporter of rice in the world. After doing all these things, the French were concentrated on the development of transport system. Especially they concentrate on the development of the roads and railways, because transport facilities are very essential to transport the commodities or to transport the military troops to gain the control over the other region. Especially they built one railway network. The most important railway network built by the French in Vietnam are Trans-Indochina network. This is a rail network. This Trans-Indochina network links the northern Vietnam and southern Vietnam and China. Just I am writing southern Vietnam as SV and northern Vietnam as MV. Northern Vietnam and southern Vietnam as well as China. This is the importance of the Trans-Indochina railway network, which was built by the French in the country Vietnam. Let us see. The economy in Vietnam was mainly based upon the rice cultivation and rubber plantation, because these two are the important crop that grown in the Vietnam. Most of these rubber plantations were under the control of French people, and some of the rubber plantations were under the control of the Vietnamese elite. Elite means the rich people of the Vietnam who sided with the French. Some of the French people were opposing some of the Vietnamese people are opposing the French. Some of the Vietnamese people are supporting the French. So the French having the control over the rubber plantations, and few of the Vietnamese elite who supported the French, they also having some control over the rubber plantations. Mainly French uses the bonded laborers to work in the rubber plantations. But French did very little for the industrialization. It means they did not concentrate on the industries. In the rural area, landlordism was spread. Most of the landlords take the land of the small peasants and make them as tenants. Tenants means here, listen, landlords take the land of the small peasants and make the small peasants into the tenants. Tenants means the farmers who take the land for rent. Those are called as the tenants. It means landlords forcefully take away the land of the small peasants and make the small peasants to become as tenants. It means that the tenants have to pay the rent to the landlords. This whole situation was there in the Vietnam under the rule of the French. Let us see the statistics of how many people are land owners and how many people are landless. For example, you take the three different regions. One is Annam. This is the region name, place name. Another one is Tonkin. Another one is Cochin China. In 1938, in Annam region, 53% of the families are completely landless, means they does not have any land. In Tonkin, 58% of the people were completely landless. In Cochinchina, nearly 79% of the families are completely landless. Only few percentage of the people only have the lands. Majority of the land owning families also were struggling for starvation. Why? Because even the land owning family also, whatever the crop they have produced, they have to pay that produce to the French as a renter. These all situations was held. The peasants who rented for the landlords, they have to pay the renter. They not only pay the renter, they also have to work in the houses of the landlords. They also have to work in the fields of the landlords. See, the peasants have to pay the rent, they have to work in the land of the landlords, and also they have to work in the houses of the landlords. Along with that, some of the landlords impose various kinds of taxes on the people as they will. Because of these poor peasants have to borrow the rice or have to borrow the money from the landlords. Then these poor peasants were clutched in the debt trap. So this is the condition. Let us see French civilizing mission. French people who ruled the Vietnam. French people felt that Vietnamese people were uncivilized. Means they don't know the civilization. French people are saying that Vietnamese people don't know the civilization. And they are convincing that the main aim of the rule of French over the Vietnam is to bring the benefits of the civilization to the Vietnam. Listen carefully. The French people felt that Vietnamese people were uncivilized. The main aim of their rule over the Vietnam is to bring the benefit of the modern civilization. That's why they are ruling the Vietnam. Like that they are saying to the remaining world. So that's why to civilize the Vietnamese people, French people find one way, that is, education is one way to civilize the Vietnamese people. French people felt that education is only way to civilize the Vietnamese people. Why? Because French people also needed the educated laborers to work in their offices. But French people feared that because education may create the problems. Why? Because once the Vietnamese people were educated, they may question the domination of the French over the Vietnamese. Especially some of the French citizens who are living in the Vietnam. Some French citizens are living in the Vietnam. They were called as colons. Colons are nothing but the French citizens living in Vietnam. Some French citizens are living in Vietnam by doing some works. For example, they are working as teachers, they are working as policemen, they are working as shopkeepers. The French citizens who are living in the Vietnam by doing the work as teachers, policemen and shopkeepers, they were called as the colons. Mainly, the decision of the French government, that is to provide education to the Vietnam, is opposed by these colons. Why? Because once the Vietnamese people were educated, these French citizens who are living in the Vietnam by doing these jobs, they lose their jobs to the educated Vietnamese. That's why these colons oppose the decision of the French government to provide the French education. Then French government decided to provide the education in the primary level in the Vietnamese language. It means education is allowed for the Vietnamese in the primary level for the Vietnamese language, but all the higher education is in French language. Whatever the textbooks prepared by the French to provide the education for the Vietnamese glorify the French rule and justify the French rule. Let us listen. But now education in the primary level is in Vietnam language. To teach that Vietnam language in the primary level, Vietnamese teachers only have to be appointed. But the teachers and the students, did not blindly follow the syllabus. Sometimes they openly oppose, sometimes they silent resistance. The teachers, while teaching, especially in the primary level, they quite modified the matter, what was stated. As in the primary level, Vietnamese teachers increases. With the increasing of Vietnamese teachers in the primary level, it became difficult to the French government to know what the Vietnamese teachers taught in the primary level. Finally, once the Vietnamese people received the education, they inspired with the patriotic feelings, and the students, especially the educated people felt that it is the duty of the educated people to fight against the French and to bring the liberation, nothing but independence to the Vietnam. Then some of the students decided to found the political party to protect their interests. So the students founded a political party. The name of the party is Young Annam. This is the political party name, Young Annam. And also they started another journal, newspaper, Annamese Union. These all things was started by the students. Some of the students at the beginning of this 20th century, some of the educated Vietnamese, they went to the Japan to receive the modern education. And also they inspired with the ideas of the Sun Yat-sen in the China. With the ideas of the Sun Yat-sen, when revolution has taken place in China. So with the inspiration from the Sun Yat-sen, the Vietnamese people also were started the revolution to gain the liberation from the French. Some of the students, they went to the other countries like China. Some of the students spent in France. Some of the students spent in USSR, and they were affected to the modern ideas, and they decided to fight against the colonial rule and to bring independence. During that time only in the 1929, Great Depression has occurred. Due to the Great Depression, the rice and the rubber, especially rubber prices decreases. With the fall of prices of rubber, the demand decreases, as well as farmers fell in the debt trap. These all the situations was there in the Vietnam. During that time, the most important leader was emerged in the Vietnam. His name is Ho Chi Minh. We will discuss about him in the next class. In this topic, we discuss that Vietnam is the colony of French. French people wanted to make Vietnam is the exporter of rice. To achieve that, they adopted the Threefold Strategy. French people concentrated only on the agriculture only. They did very little for the industrialization. Okay, next we will discuss the next about the Ho Chi Minh in our next class. So after watch this video carefully, after watching this video, open your textbook and read the textbook thoroughly and note down the important points that you have find in the textbook. And we'll discuss the next topic in the next lesson. Thank you.